Good morning, good morning, good morning once again. This is, you're listening to the Clean Fresh Sound on 99.9 WEFM. At this time, we are in our Cup Chat segment, and in studio with us this morning, well, us being Roleza and Dianna. In studio this morning, we have joining us Mr. Marlon Pitt, who is a Sergeant of Police in the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, Mr. Kenroy Campbell, a Corporal of Police, and Mr. Henry Hoyt, also a Corporal of Police in the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. This morning, we are discussing the topic, protecting our farmers, combating Praedial Larceny and agricultural crimes. For those of you that are joining us on the live, we are working out something, so you may not see all the faces that you're supposed to see, but they will be up shortly. At this time, I am going to turn over to our guests to have them introduce themselves. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Right, so
sit forward. Come forward. Sit forward.
Yes. Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. I am Sergeant of Police. I'm the 523 Colin Marlon Pitt.
all right.
Good morning to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My name is Kenroy Campbell, present station at Rosal and Chateaudoulet Station, respectively.
Good morning to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and person in the diaspora. My name is Henry Hoyt, Corporal of Police, stationed at Calaqua and attached to the Criminal Investigation Department.
All right.
Just happy to be here this morning.
All right, and we're happy to have you as well to discuss this very serious topic. This very serious topic affecting many farmers here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yes.
Right.
So we're going to start off, and of course, we can't begin without giving a definition. Now, I know many persons know the definition of Praedial Larceny, but some people say, what is big fancy word for, so let us define Praedial Larceny. I don't know which of you will take that one up. All right.
Praedial Larceny as the
Come forward a bit, please.
Praedial Larceny, or theft. Yeah, theft is when someone appropriates a property belonging to another with the intention of permanently depriving the other of it. Meaning you're taking something that does not belong to you.
All right then.
If I could add more to
Sure.
that, Praedial Larceny basically deal with agriculture, whether it's livestock or root crops.
All right then. So. Right,
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So this morning we are going to get into the topic. You will get a chance, listeners, just to let you know before we go any further, you will get a chance to call with your questions and your comments, but we will let you know when that will take place. All right. And then I'll give you the number for that. In the meantime, let's go into what does the law have in place for Praedial Larceny, or what is there in the law that speaks to Praedial Larceny? I don't know. It's open. I don't know whosoever wants to answer the question for us.
Well, unlike any other crime, what it may be more, what the law in place is that once there's a report made to the police will entertain that report. If there's any success in the investigation where a person is arrested, they will be charged and taken to court. And the court will then deal with the remainder of it from there.
Okay. So can we go through the procedure? So I'm a farmer and I've come out this morning and I've discovered that something is missing. First step, go to the police station and to make a report, and then let's take it from there.
Right. As a farmer, reported theft of farm produce or livestock. Come to the station, make a report. The police will, sometimes we visit the scene because the scene must be visited. Because the farmer, you have to make sure that the farmer is making a legit report. When the farmer return to the station, we take a statement from him. Based on what he investigated, he reported, then the police will conduct investigation. Most of the time, the farmers might give the police a name of a suspect. Now the police will check out the suspect to make sure that what the farmer is saying is correct. Once they have evidence to charge, then the police will lay a charge and take the matter before the court. And the magistrate do the rest.
Okay. Is the report and the actions, is it different for plants, well, for crops than for animals, or the same procedure, same everything?
Well, same procedure.
Okay. All right. All right then. So anybody wants to add anything? No?
Well, what I will add is see the difference to me. When you're dealing with livestock, you must be able to identify the livestock. With produce, it's hard to identify. So it's a difference. Because once you can identify your produce, there's a problem there you're facing. So there's a difference.
So what advice at this time, though, since we're on the topic of identifying livestock in particular, what advice would you give to farmers, persons who rear animals? How can they safeguard themselves in a way if their animal is stolen to be able to identify that it's theirs? What suggestions would you give to them?
Well, person who have livestock, they could mark the livestock. It could be color coded in terms of they could mark it by the ears with a special mark. So when they see that mark, they will be able to identify it.
Okay.
So that is something good that the farmers could do. And I mean, agriculture could get involved and assist in doing that. It's very important.
Would you encourage persons to take photos? Because I have seen instances where there is a report on the police Facebook page stating that this goat or this sheep has been found. Whoever owns it could come and identify it. And I have to chuckle at it sometimes because I'm like, I could go and say it's mine. So how am I going to, how are you going to be so sure that me coming forward and saying it's mine is actually mine?
I'm happy that you mentioned that.
Or come forward for me, please. Yeah?
I had a situation where this gentleman in the Shatabele area, who rear sheep, right? And for some reason, he has a very good bond with his animals. He play music for them. Yeah, so he play music.
This is happy food we eat.
So we had a situation where about 3 of his sheep was stolen. And by hearing his voice, the sheep then run to him.
Okay.
So that is a way of identifying your animal. Not just taking them to the farm and tie them there like a little later in the evening, you go and loose them and you take them in. Just spend time with the animal with them. And you build up a relationship between you and your animal.
Okay, shepherd and sheep. All right, all right.
You could also market. It's a little bit barbaric, but you could brand them if you want to brand your animal.
Yes.
It's identifying. Because if the animal is dead, you can identify the carcass.
Okay.
You can identify the meat and
That's
so,
right.
Meat are just like meat. So, but once the animal is alive, these are ways that we can identify them later on.
Okay. All right. So let's backtrack just a little bit. Why is Praedial Larceny a big thing for us here in SVG?
I can relate to that. I actually tried farming one time and a cattle run through my thing and I just throw my hands up in the air and say, "We're done with that."
Okay.
So I just walk around. So I know the pain of a farmer, right? And it's not easy being out in the sun, rain, and you put in all this effort, money, and somebody just walks in and just sweep all your hard on. So it's something close to us. It's difficult, as my colleague said earlier, to identify when the eros is uprooted. You can't identify eros. Sometimes the only way you may get something is that if I meet my good friend in the pit with produce. I know he doesn't farm Edos, so we want to know where he get Edos from. So we have to go down. He will give us the information where he get his Edos because he doesn't have a farm. So we have to go down, check, and then once the evidence is there to support and a charge, maybe later against him.
Okay, anybody else want to add anything to that? Is Praedial Larceny on your rise?
Well, Praedial Larceny is a bit on the rise, I should say. Have a lot of agricultural areas within St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And where livestock and farm produce are concerned, a lot of persons who they farm, they also have animals, but sometimes they also the culprits because I have dashing, I stole somebody else's dashing and I sold it. So it is hard now for the police to really catch up with them. But you see, sometimes a technical thing, because I could remember one instance, I was working at a particular station and a farmer, he had some pimento peppers, but he have a big bag of pimento peppers when he took us to his farm. Probably only have about 5 trees, and those 5 trees cannot give him that bag. So there and then, well, yes, he was responsible for the theft of the other person produce.
So oftentimes when we're walking through town, right? All right, so vending on the street is not supposed to be happening, but it happens. All right. I ain't seen anything to that. So, but anyhow, right? How often do police officers, when they see persons vending in Kingston, especially with produce, fruits and vegetables, how often do you stop and ask persons, where did you actually get this produce to be selling on the street? Because for persons like myself, I am guilty of buying from off the street, but I am also not asking persons where they got stuff from. And I don't want to be indirectly an upholder, right? But how often do police officers stop and ask persons?
Well, what it does in the out district, because the problem is that persons would have already purchased their produce, whether in town, because the perpetrators will bring the produce in town and sold it to the farm, to the vendors. So I mean, it's a bit difficult to combat it there and then. What we does like out in the out district, like let's say between Thursday to Saturday. Persons with vehicles normally, drove to Kingston. So we normally do stop and searches. Sometimes we stop a truck, have livestock, have farm produce. Well, question the drivers, the drivers them. Sometimes the vendors them accompany the driver on the truck. But the problem we're having is that vendors purchasing produce and livestock from persons without farmer's ID. And that is the problem we're having, because sometimes they themselves get themselves in problems. If you purchase something from someone without farmer ID, it might very well be stolen goods. So what I'm really urging also is that the vendors them who purchasing these farm produce livestock, make sure, even though the person don't have a farmer's ID, make sure that they document something, the name, address, telephone numbers, identification number, and all these kind of things. But we do stop and searches very often in the out district. Normally when we receive certain information, persons in Kingston, we go to the vendors them and then we question them in respect of that. Some of them may be able to say, well, all right, John Jones, bring this for me this morning. So we does that, let's say, on a regular basis.
Okay.
Okay. So then you mentioned the issue of presenting the farmer's ID when you're buying things. So I would like to believe that means now that all farmers are supposed to have their farmer's ID. Can you say whether or not you know if all farmers have a farmer's? No, they don't.
No, they don't. So that is the reason why I say that farmers without farmer's ID, because there are legit farmers who does not have a farmer ID. Well, they should be able to present their national ID along with a contact number, their name and their address, because that can be helpful in the event that the police would have intercepted a vehicle with these farm produce. Then they can be able to say, well, all right, this is my book. I purchased these items from XYZ this morning. This is the person name, so that the police can that will help the police in their investigation. So when you go to that person would be able to say, well, yes, I purchased this animal to XYZ.
To what do you see being stolen more, livestock or crops? Can you give that?
Livestock.
Livestock. All right. All right then. And I think livestock may be more costly too, if I am correct.
Yes,
because
More financially beneficial, I mean,
Yes.
well,
when it's in selling.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as we on that then, given that there are more livestock being stolen, that chain from stealing to butcher to us consumers, speak along that chain. Who it is we're going to talk to? Well, we're probably talking to everybody, but
I think livestock is more of an opportunity. For example, me being a police and I have I rear two little goat, I ain't going to go carry them in a farm bush. I won't just jam them up next to the roadside and a vehicle pass and see it as the opportunity and let that and gone. You understand? So, could you run the question again?
okay. So I am more looking at the line of somebody stealing a goat. They give it to a butcher who doesn't ask them where they got it from. Yeah, speak to those persons, those two groups of persons, because us as consumers, we wouldn't be none the wiser. We actually have a call, so let's take this call, then we'll get back to that. Hi, caller. Good morning. Hi, caller. Good morning. Hello.
We're not hearing anything.
All right, not hearing. So maybe try calling back, please. All right, continue for me, please.
Right. Well, if I randomly steal an animal, I will not be taking that to a butcher. I may be doing the butchering myself.
Okay.
And let's say I'm from Lomans. I steal an animal in Chateaubelair and I am from Lomans. I'm not going to sell my meat in Lomans.
Hi, caller. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning. You live?
Yes, right. Thank you. I'm a butcher. 64-year-old experience. Pretty lots of animal. First of all, I think we should have a slaughterhouse and ban all any butchers who are buying animals or meat should buy from that slaughterhouse. And the farmer who takes the animals to the slaughterhouse should have a tag on the ears of the animal to prove that they are the owner of these animals. But willy-nilly, everybody kill the animals on the field, on the mango tree, break them, and nobody knows where the animals will kill. And the way they kill the animals in St. Vincent, it's inhuman actually. They murder them. If we have a licensed slaughterhouse where you kill the animal under certain conditions, health conditions and so on, it'd be a great help. So if you go to even Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago, no butcher can sell the meat unless it comes from a recognized slaughterhouse with a health stamp on the animal to say, well, the animal is killed here. This is the owner of the animal. So you can trace the owner back to the tag on the ears. So we'll promise a slaughterhouse years and years ago in St. Vincent. Nothing ever happened. So therefore, the farmer should protect the animal too, but just tag on the ears. Unless a John Smith or we number XYZ, So we have to protect ourselves. Because a lot of people kill the animal, and most of the animals are killed. Are stolen, that butcher, they go to restaurant buy the animal at a cheaper price. Or you got a stolen animal, you kill it, and it order out from the neighbor. The time morning come the animal already, sold, the meat already sold, and your health inspector to the animal should be at the slaughterhouse, should be inspected at the slaughterhouse with a vet so we can have assurance that the animal is healthy. So all the years I've been talking and get a slaughterhouse bid, and nothing is happening in St. Vincent. Praedial Larceny is very rampant in St. Vincent. And every time they can have, because, I got a goat. Where the goat come from? If a farmer got a young old lady got a goat, and she want to sell it to buy books or the child to go to school, and they call the health inspector. It's $15 to inspect an animal. And there's a lot of people is not bothering. So if the animal at the slaughterhouse and it kill, it can be inspected straight away. So we can have assurance that we have a healthy meat in St. Vincent. I could talk about this all day long, but it is time consuming. So you have a nice day, right?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any thoughts with regards to what he has said, the caller said?
Yes, and he's correct. You know, if I am a consumer, it's a pound of beef is for like what, $12. If somebody come to sell me for $8, I'm saving like $4. So I will choose to buy it from the person, not knowing where they're supposed to get it. Sometimes you don't even know what kind of meat they're eating, because sometimes people get animal that you and I would not even think about eating.
Okay.
So he's correct.
So should there be advocacy for the slaughterhouse as he's suggesting, or should we sensitize the community a bit more in terms of not just because it's cheaper means that you should purchase it?
Exactly. The community and even some of the butchers, they support these things, because if you want to pay $1,500 for a full macho bull cattle and somebody want to sell it for $1,000, you yourself should realize, no, something not right here. This thing value more than that. Why are you selling it like that? Man, you show your farmer, I ain't buying your cattle anymore. Go to the station and say, look, John Jones just called me for a cattle, but the cattle, he want to sell me cattle at this price. I don't believe he's the owner for this cattle. Officer, you need to check it out. These information could help reduce, because now when you do that, persons will be reluctant in stealing somebody else's animal for that purpose.
Okay. I know the question wasn't for me, but as it relates to the sensitization of the community, I would go for having the house and the system, and making sure you have people that make the system works, because knowing human beings, they will always go for what is cheaper, even when they know it's not the right thing to do. Cheaper, I'm gonna take that. They're gonna go for that.
I know also around Christmas time, the health inspector will go to areas where animal is being killed, but you have to inform them in advance where you are, so that they will be able to find you. I know that for Christmas time, but I can't say for
The rest of the year. Okay.
I was wondering about tags earlier. I'm glad the caller mentioned it, because then I guess that confirms that we don't do tagging, do any tagging here. Okay. All right. So how do the police how does community police, or how do community police officers work along with the farmers in this regard? Well, the Praedial Larceny.
Well, we have rural constables. Those officers dealing with farm produce, livestock, and so on. Now, those
Before you go on, sorry, do you have officers that are specially assigned to deal with Praedial Larceny, or it's just the general?
Well, the general body, deal with Praedial Larceny, but these rural constables, they really specialize in dealing with the farm produce and livestock. Normally, they will go out in the field, gather information, because once you go out there, farmers will tell you, well, I'm having problems with person stealing my crops, farm produce, and they might give you other vital information. Now, when they go out and get those information, they will act on them, because those information can also assist in other crimes. And based on this information, I know a lot of persons being arrested for offenses, because sometimes they believe that John public not seeing them. But based on the information and certain things being put in place, then they catch the culprit. So by them going out there and getting that information, it is very helpful to the organization.
What's the what's the maximum penalty for Praedial larceny? Or what are the penalties for Praedial larceny?
So we can be charged $500 or imprisonment of 3 months.
Yeah, it's a fine and confine
Fine and confine.
situation. That you'll be fined and you will also do some time.
Curious question. So when you find somebody with stolen produce, right? What happens to the produce? Because normally when you steal something, it's held as exhibit. But in the case of produce, what happens there?
Well, normally we photograph the produce because perishable. Some of the produce can be put on refrigerator, but because they are perishables, we normally took photographs of them. Yes, for based on evidence. So when it is perish, dispose of them.
The disposing part is what I have to take the side, right? Because
that will only happen if a farmer loses produce and nobody report anything. You know, we may send out information. You know, just like if your television was stolen and then we recover some television and the police will send out information at their television at Calico, and if you miss one, you could come and check it out and so forth. But then it's produced.
No, the reason why I cite, right? Because I know that you guys are probably doing the legal thing, right? The correct thing is not to make use of it or whatever, but because it's food that we're speaking about, and for many of us, we do not like see food go into waste. You know, if something could actually be done, donated to a school or whatever, I don't know what could happen there, but it was just something that came to me when through asking the question. So,
well, most of the time that can happen. Most of the time, farmers might, come and tell the police, well, they don't want the produce, and we can distribute them. I know of times when that's been done.
Okay.
For instance, if the offense occurred today, and the police already do their investigation or completed their investigation, the complainant, they will come to the station and said that, no, I don't want them. Give them away. And we will do likewise.
Okay. All right.
So I think we can take an ad break right here, and then we will be back with more of our program. Remember, when we come back, you can call us if you want to leave a comment or you have any questions. 457-9997 right after this ad break.
Do you want to feel clean or refreshed after using the bathroom? Whether at home, work, or play? Welcome to My Smart Toilet Seat. All of our products wash your private parts after using the bathroom without the use of your hands. Let's hear what our national table tennis champion, Damian Dublin, has to say.
I tried it and it works. There are 4 options. Simply add an attachment to your existing toilet seat, or choose a non-electric seat, or better, an electric seat that washes and dries you with warm water and air. Lastly, get a complete smart toilet that also flushes itself. What are you waiting for? Get your smart toilet seat today. Be smart, be refreshed, be clean, be a winner like me.
Our smart toilet seat is available throughout St. Vincent at retail outlets with the orange flags. You can call us at 457-1703 or visit our website at justwashit.vc.
That could have been you. An accident that could have been avoided because your tires had almost no grip on the road. Safety is a factor that should never be overlooked when it comes to your car or whatever you drive. SPG Tire Sales and Services in Falls Avenue and in Arnesvale carries a wide selection of quality new tires to fit any car, truck, minibus, or SUV, so you can experience a comfortable and safe commute every time. We are agents for the world's most reliable brands on and off the road, including Kenda Tires, the king of the mountain. Cooper Tires, king of the road and track. Ostone, the king of the outback. And High Fly, the king of the Asian highway. We also carry new tires for light or heavy-duty trucks. From MRF, High Fly, and Linglong, a reliable set of new tires keep you, your passengers, and your payload always in the safe lane. So when you need quality tires with reliability at 100%, choose SVG Tire Sales and Services in Kingstown, 457-1467, or in Arnesvale, 456-6444. SVG Tire Sales and Services. Performance and reliability proven when the rubber meets the road. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack Interbrand Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
St. Vincent, it's time to celebrate 30 years of blues. Join us for the Basilat Villa Blues Festival, one unforgettable night of world-class music for a cause that matters. January 31st at 8 p.m. at Basilat Villa, featuring an incredible lineup: Joe Louis Walker, Ian Seagal, Morali Coryell, Matt Jest, Peter O'Brien, and Dan Rabinovitz, Giles Robson, Robin Capsulis, Scott Malici, Chuck Langford, Jenny Shallow, and Joshua Lewis. Tickets are $75 available at Basilat Villa, Basil's Bar Kingstown, and Pinch's Hardware Pembroke. All proceeds benefit the Basil Charles Educational Foundation. We are currently supporting 85 students in St. Vincent with full-time and bursary scholarships, feeding programs, transportation allowances, and emergency relief during natural disasters. Join us for a night of great music and an even greater impact. This has brought to you compliments of WEFM and Williams Electronic Services.
Nothing else sounds as good as WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
Cop Chat. You've got questions for the police? They're here to give you the answers on WEFM 99.9.
Something is wrong with the human race. Preacher man say it's wonders and signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in our use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
All right, so we are back with our Cop Chat segment right here on WEFM. Joining Roleza and I in studio this morning, we have 3 officers from the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. We have Mr. Marlon Pitt, who is a Sergeant of Police, Mr. Kenroy Campbell, and Mr. Henry Hoyt, who are both corporals of police. And this morning, we're discussing Praedial Larceny, protecting our farmers, combating Praedial Larceny, and agricultural crimes. If you have questions or comments, remember you can call us 457-9997, and that's for landline and WhatsApp as well. Right? So we're going to head right back into our discussion.
All right. So we were speaking on the penalty that someone faces.
Yes.
So if you could probably just speak a bit more on that first.
Right. I'm going to read exactly from the Act says that once the person is found guilty, the penalty is $1,000 and to be imprisonment for 2 years. So it's both things. You're going to be fined and you're also going to be sent to prison. Okay? I don't know for how long. That could be up to the magistrate, how long he or she going to keep you there for.
Okay.
But according to law, it's 2 years.
Okay. Somebody has a question here on the live. They're asking, okay, so what is being done about Praedial Larceny for CMOS farmers? We have been struggling with that for years and wondering why decades should pass before anything can be done about it. As CMOS farmers, okay, what is being done about it? Are CMOS farmers less of farmers than land farmers? Anybody can speak on it?
Well, CMOS farmers. That is not so prevalent because I never really heard of anyone reported that in terms of CMOS and so on. So the CMOS farmers, they will be treated just the same as any other farmers with a livestock or agricultural produce. Once they reported whether the CMOS being misplaced, stolen, then the police will treat it as such as other reports.
Okay. All right. So next question. Dry season coming up, right? And we know that there are many persons who tend to just let the animals go. And in letting the animals go, not only do they come onto person's property, but they also go into persons' farmlands. What can I, as a farmer, do? Or even with me, my small backyard garden in my home. What can I do? What is best advised?
Okay. Once the animal comes into your property, if it has a rope attached to it, you will keep that animal, impound it. If you can inform the owner. If not, inform the agriculture department, and they will visit your farm, your crops, and see the damage. They will prepare a letter for the owner of the animal, where they will have to pay you for the damage to your crops.
Okay.
Okay. If the animal doesn't have a rope, then you can kill the animal and then place that animal on the road. You cannot eat it, you cannot sell it, you cannot do anything with it.
It just ate my crops. I'm sorry. Back to being serious.
Okay. So that's what I do know when it comes to that type of animal.
Okay, so once it comes onto your property without a rope, you can kill it, but you have to
place it in the public road.
Okay, so place it in the public road for sale?
It's off your property.
So do you have to bring in the health inspector though? Because
no.
Because somebody will need to come and collect the carcass.
But if the animal doesn't have a rope, then it doesn't really have a owner. That's it.
So who will collect it from the road though?
Eventually the owner will figure out. But if you kill it with a rope, you now will be committing an offense of destruction of property. Because remember, you have to impound the animal. But if you kill it while it has a rope, then you'll be committing an offense.
Okay. All right. No criminals out there.
The pound fees, I can't really say. No, I don't have that information before me. But there's some figures attached to it.
Where are the animals, when they're impounded, where are they kept though?
Well, when
Right. They when you impound those animals, well, you have to keep them in your possession, whether on your farmland.
Okay.
And
So I had to feed this too.
exactly. You have to make sure that this animal
Adopt a pet.
is well fed and well taken care of, because you will be held liable if something should happen to that animal.
And that is why I said, as soon as practicable, you could get in touch with the owner to take that responsibility off your hand.
And if I should stretch a bit more on that, where animal goes on someone property, damage their farm produce, inform the agricultural officer. The agricultural officer come and praise the damage. A copy of that appraisal will be given to the owner of the animal. Now, if the owner of the animal fail to acknowledge that claim, then it's actually out of the police jurisdiction. It actually is a private matter, what we call civil matter. So if the owner of the animal fail to acknowledge that claim, then the person whose crops are damaged, they have to put that person in court privately.
Question though, would police look at this as being something trivial if I constantly report about my neighbor's animals being on my yard, on my property? Let's just use the word property. Would this be viewed as something trivial? Who could address this? Because you also don't want to end up taking matters into your own hands as a homeowner, a farmer. Can I actually report this to the police?
Well, once you report it to the police, if you report it 10 times, then it's our duty to, we will warn the person who responsible 10 times. Because these matters sometimes, criminal activities can be the end product. So we will try to advise the person to at least tie the animal, take care of the animals. And once this is done, we will also inform the person, or advise the person to go to the agricultural department and get somebody to praise the damage. We will done, that is our part. It's not a matter where we can, effect any arrest, because it's a private matter. If, let's say there is a criminal matter come out of it where the person who is affected make checks to the person, because this happening over and over, and I can understand, then the police will deal with that part of it. But the other part, that is actually a private part of it.
Where is this with the 10, this 10 complaints? Where did it come from? Because I'm wondering, why is it 10? That's a lot.
And that's patience.
Yeah.
No, because I experience it. It probably could be more. And sometimes I am so sorry that we can't do more than that. We try our best, because we want the person to secure animal, damaging the person is coming plenty time, and you're still not tying your animal. Tie your animal. That is all that we could do. Trying to prevent the something from happening. But I know most persons, because they know how the system works, they say, I'm fed up by going by the agriculture place and all these things. So some of them just allow it, let it slide.
Okay. All right. So what advice would you give to farmers in terms of how to protect their property, right? Those for both livestock as well as agriculture produce. What words of advice can you give them? Even, let's say, including technology. What advice could you give?
Oh yes. But in terms of the farmland and so on, I would advise them to fence it. Even install cameras, because I know farms, and right now, up to a couple of days ago, someone caught someone on the land, and they have cameras. So I would urge farmers to do the same. It might be a bit expensive, but at least it will help prevent.
And they have the solar cameras now, so you don't really need electricity. So if you invest, you could invest into things like this. It is for your own protection. it will help the police also to secure a conviction on your behalf. So
In your,
we have a phone.
okay.
Hi, caller. Good morning.
Yes, let me say good morning to you.
Good morning.
Listening to the program, I want to ask the police, do the police charge persons under the Agricultural and Produce Act or they charge under the regular criminal code?
yes, we do charge under the Agriculture Act, the Livestock Act, and sometimes we charge under the Criminal Code also.
But in what circumstances will you charge under the criminal?
Depends on the investigation, how it leads, and how the offense was committed. That dictates how the charge is formed.
No, but what I am thinking, Praedial Larceny is Praedial Larceny. So if the offense is of a Praedial nature, I have a difficulty understanding how the investigation can twist it to the point where you're charged under the regular criminal code. So that's I'm having some difficulty there. The other thing is, somebody called and asked about the CMOS farmers. Do CMOS farmers come under the Agricultural and Produce Act, that falls under the general criminal law? Hello?
Okay.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah.
Right. The CMAS farmers. Well, that does not exactly fall under the agricultural and livestock.
Right. So then, what I'm thinking, if somebody steals CMAS, that will come under the general criminal law.
Well, they will be charged under the criminal code.
Right. Well, I didn't get that impression.
Right.
But I from my very limited knowledge, very limited is the operative word, I don't think that CMAS farmers fall under the Agriculture Act. The other thing is, there's a caller question about people's animals coming to your place. See, what some people don't understand, there's the criminal law and there's the civil law. And it's not everything falls under criminal law. And people often say, oh, I go to the police 25 times, people shit come in the yard and the police ain't doing nothing. Police would have warned 25 times, but they still see the police in. But the police is not empowered by law to do anything more than one. And people need to understand that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Thanks very much. All right. All right. So any further tips with regards to how farmers can protect their lands, livestock, agriculture produce? Any other tips?
Well, what I could say is that if persons have livestock, they normally tie them out, move them from where they are early, instead of going about 6 or so. If you could go like 4, move them from where they, take them home. That would help the police a lot, because people looking for animal, they will go and they will take them. So move them out early.
Okay, explain to me. I probably, because I'm not a farmer, so I'm not understanding that. What do you mean?
Some people would tie out the animal and like in the afternoon, they would go and remove them.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying, they should move them earlier than they normally do. So if they move them like say 6 o'clock instead of 6, move them 3, 4 o'clock. The earlier the better.
Oh, okay. All right, follow now. All right. So we're coming. You have another question?
Oh, no.
All right. So we're coming down to the end of our program, and we're just going to give each officer the opportunity, just for about a minute each or 50 seconds each, just to leave some final words with us with regards to our topic of conversation this morning? Anyone can go first.
Let me say, for farmers who normally transport their produce to Kingston, when the police officers are out doing their checks to speed up things faster, it is advised that if your stuff is in a tray, put your name on it, because it will speed up the process. So if you want to get it done for 5 o'clock and the police is out there for 3 o'clock in the morning, if your name is there, that the police, it will be easier for the police to record the information, right? So faster you go. For those drivers who transport without the farmer, because you might have 6, 7, 8 different persons stuff carrying, make sure you know who belongs to who and get the names of the person so you can give the officers right then and there. And persons also keep their farmers ID with you also. And these things help to speed up the process.
Next officer.
Oh yes, what I will urge the vendors is to please be careful who you buying produce from, because at the end of the day, you yourself can get into trouble. Because buying produce for a lesser price than you know, then right there and then, there's a suspicion of something stolen. So you have to be very careful. And farmers, you have to get your farmer's ID. So all those farmers who do not have their farmer's ID, I'm urging you to try and apply for it now, because it is very, very important. And farmers, try and protect your farm. It might be a bit expensive, where you might have to hire security or security cameras, but at the end of the day, you will gain more than you lose. So it might look expensive, but at the end of the day, it will be worth it all.
All right.
Okay, what I'm appealing to farmers, I mean, you can have a group in terms of assisting one another to, look after the farm. Like if I'm going to my farm, I could watch somebody else's farm while I'm going to mine, and if I see anything, I report it and so on. So they could have a group coming together from neighborhood watch. Also, farmers should be ceased from discussing when the produce is coming. So people hear them by the farm shop, they would want to go and dig up so avoid that. And also avoid buying stuff under value. Also in the night too, people like to buy meat and so on. You don't know what kind of meat you're buying. So they have to avoid all those things. That is what I'm appealing to farmers.
All right, then. And with that, we have come to the end of our Cop Chat segment here on WEFM this morning. We had Sergeant Marlon Pitt, Corporal Kenroy Campbell, and Corporal Henry Hoyt. And we were discussing the topic, protecting our farmers, combating Praedial Larceny and agricultural crimes. Very, very good topic discussed here this morning. A lot of important information shared. So I hope that you'll pass on the message. Whatever you heard, you will share it with your friends, families, neighbors. And with that, we are going to head out of our Cop Chat segment for today and straight into our bank rates.
99.9